Hello guys, this is Modest Major here, bringing you some commentary over some CTF gameplay. The score in the background is 69-3. I seem to remember this being a relatively decent gameplay. I think it has quite a few nice snipes in it. I haven't watched it over, but I know it's good. So keep your eyes peeled for that and hope you guys enjoy. It's quite a long one, so I'm going to be playing music over the end of the gameplay. You don't have to sit through all of it if you don't want to. It's perfectly fine. I had a topic that I wish to discuss with you guys today. Obviously, today marks the release of the Xbox One, something that I'm actually really excited for and, become increasingly excited for as the years gone on. Probably not for the right reasons. When it first started off, I absolutely was not excited. In fact, I was really frustrated with the sense that we just weren't progressing as a generation. We'd been waiting so long for this next gen. We'd had to wait 2 years longer than we normally would have, and to have the first games be stuff like Forza and Dead Rising, these aren't exactly like the most established franchises, and a lot of them are niche gameplay. Forza is for the racing fans, Dead Rising is for the zombie fans, but there's nothing necessarily that is a surefire attention grabber. We're not really getting that until March, which is a little bit on the depressing side, I can't lie, but I don't know, I'm just so desperate for anything. I'm willing to go, all in with this and give it the best try that I can, because I don't know, I've just been waiting for so long for something, and I'm willing to be open-minded to some new games. Obviously, I've played Halo 4 so much. Like, the gameplay time on my main account doesn't reflect how much I've played this game, because I've played on so many different accounts. I've played this multiplayer game more than I've ever played any other multiplayer game ever, period. And that is insane to me. I'm usually someone who really likes variety in my games and likes switching around and playing as many games as I can possibly do. Like, if you look at my gamer card for my Modest Major account, you'll see that the amount of games I play is pretty ridiculous, and I'm not really shut off to one particular genre of games. I like mixing and matching. And as a result, I feel like, although I've gotten so much enjoyment out of Halo 4 and I've loved it so much, I'm just willing to give anything a new try at this point, because I'm sure it will feel fresh and exciting. And there's a couple of games I actually think look pretty interesting. Overall, the actual games are getting pretty good reviews, Forza Motorsport is getting around an 80 on Metacritic, and it's meant to be a really solid racing title, and the AI is meant to be really pushing forward the tech and making it more interesting. It's very adaptive. That's pretty exciting. I'm not a racing fan myself. I'm more of a fan of the arcade races, games like Mario Kart, Burnout, F-Zero X, games that don't take the actual racing too seriously. I think Forza doesn't quite take it as seriously as games like Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo just seems a bit heavy-handed to me, personally. Like, it just seems too obsessed with stats and specs and the exact, perfect, ideal racing conditions. I don't know, it's definitely not my scene. But I'm willing to give Forza a chance. I did have fun on one of the previous Forza games, Forza 3, I believe that was. That was a good game. Then other games, Killer Instinct. That actually looks like a really solid fighting game. Obviously, I've been playing Super Smash a lot recently. Super Smash is becoming my favourite multiplayer game of all time. If I had people to play that, I'd probably abandon everything else right now, because I'm getting fairly decent at the game, and I really want to take my skills to a new level, but I just don't have anyone to play with on a regular basis, and there's no online play, which really sucks. But it is an amazing game, the amount of competitive depth in that game. I don't want to go on about Smash, because I seem to do this every other week, but I'll just be quiet. Killer Instinct, dedicated server, 60 FPS. The online play looks pretty much lag-free with the dedicated servers. That game looks really exciting to me, and I'm going to go, head first into that. I've never particularly been good at fighting games, which are just, like, base fighting games. I'm usually better, like I said, I'm better at the ones that don't take themselves seriously, like Super Smash Bros. But with Killer Instinct, I kind of want to have a go at learning the combos and getting into the game. There isn't that many characters in the game, and for some people that's disappointing because they would have liked to see a lot. But for me, I like that because that means I can just home in on one particular character, learn their moveset, and get good with it. And it's just meant to be really interesting. Obviously, they've got this dojo mode, which A40 Elite Assassin, he's another YouTuber, quite small. He spoke about this dojo mode, and I'm going to leave a link to that video in the description. But the dojo mode is basically a place where the developers talk you through a lot of the movesets and the advanced strategies and combos within the game. And they try and teach you it in the most in-depth way so that you can learn to take your skills to the next level. And I think that's really exciting, something that would work really well within Halo 5, because a lot of people find the competitive side of Halo quite daunting as a lower level player, and there's no real incentive to get into it because there's so many things they have to learn and pick up that they just won't be able to find out. They might not have the friends to be able to talk to and figure that stuff out. So yeah, it's really cool, and I'm definitely going to give that game a good try. Dead Rising 3 is also getting pretty darn good reviews, pretty favourable. You know, personally, I actually loved Dead Rising 1, thought it was a great game. Didn't like the fact that there was a time limit. Basically, you know, you had a 3-day limit to do everything within the game. Sort of like Majora's Mask on the N64, if you ever played that game. Amazing game, for the record. But you had a time limit, and you had to collect supplies, fight bosses. And there were elements of the game that were a little bit rugged, I suppose I would call them. But overall, the experience and the atmosphere was amazing. What kind of depresses me about Dead Rising 3 is they've tried to make it a bit too, like, hardcore, next-gen, etc., etc. Like, trying to make it dark and gritty. That's not necessarily my scene, but it does look like a really solid zombie game. And apparently the amount of zombies that can be on screen at any time is insane. So that's pretty exciting to me. I'm definitely going to give that a good try. That's probably one of the games I'm half most looking forward to, half kind of anxious about. Like, I'm not sure if it will be 100% my style, but I'm definitely excited for it. And then other games consist of Zoo Tycoon. Now for me, Zoo Tycoon, I know that Silly Solomon is really excited to play this game, and a couple of other people, because it does look awesome. Like, I'm not going to lie, the graphics look amazing, the animals look amazing, a lot of the animations on the animals look amazing. There's a lot of cool stuff going on in that game, but personally, I was a big fan of the Tycoon elements of the previous games, like Roller Coaster Tycoon, Theme Park World, Hospital... what's it called? Hospital Park? I don't know what it's called. But I was a really big fan of the management that went on that game, and the customization, and the fact that it really did feel like you were an owner of your own park, and you got to customize every single element of it. And that was really exciting. And it feels like they've really stripped back the gameplay mechanics to make it look better and play better, but it doesn't feel like you have much freedom over your movements, and that's depressing. For me, that's what the Tycoon game revolves around, like, the fact that you get to make these massive, massive roller coasters. And in Zoo Tycoon, you just got to do, like, crazy stuff, like make your enclosures huge, you got to customize each individual element of it. It's really exciting. I actually loved Zoo Tycoon. For me, I was a bit of a psychopath with it. I just let the lions and the monkeys out of their cages and just go insane, and that was pretty hilarious. But still, you know, I wish they wouldn't strip back, and there's a lot of Connect features. They're quite heavy-handed with the Connect, like, stuff like you wash your animals, you stroke your animals, and you have to play all these little Connect mini-games, and when I see stuff like that, it just reminds me of Connectimals, which I thought was such a gimmicky game, very reminiscent of the Wii era, and that's something I want to move away from as a gamer. That's just my personal opinion. But I think I've covered all the games. Obviously, there's Battlefield 4 and Call of Duty Ghosts. I will be playing Battlefield 4 a hell of a lot. I purposely didn't buy Battlefield 4 on Xbox 360 because I wanted to get the next-gen experience. I'm not a PC fan myself. I can never really wrap my head around the controls of a PC, and I just don't really like the atmosphere and the environment of PC gaming. That's just my opinion. I like the casual elements of console. I like the people who play console. I've got a lot of friends on there, and I've had so many great experiences with console. That's the only reason I'm not moving to PC. Obviously, it does have the better graphical experience and probably gameplay experience, but I'm not really that fussy. I just want a fun time. And, you know, I skipped Xbox 360 because it looked like there was going to be frame rate issues. I heard there were a lot of issues at launch where, you know, they had to release patches and stuff. So I'm glad I've waited. It's almost like the Xbox 360 was a title update, a beta, sorry, for the Xbox One Battlefield 4 version, which I think is cool. Call of Duty Ghosts I will be ignoring solidly. I think Call of Duty Ghosts is a bad game. I think it's a bad game all round. I think, like, I love the Call of Duty series. I liked it more than Halo at one point. It was my main game, and Call of Duty Ghosts is just going further down this route of terrible gameplay, terrible map design, low health, frustratingly large maps. I can't put into words how much I hate that game, and for me, Titanfall is going to be the Call of Duty I've been waiting for, with advanced movement, actual next-gen features, and I'm really excited for that. But in comparison to the PS4, if you've been, like, looking at the PS4 stuff, the games have not been getting good reviews, period. Like, Killzone 4, no, sorry, Killzone, is it 4? I think it is 4, has been getting bad to average reviews. And, you know, people are saying the graphics look absolutely amazing. Like, the best graphics you're going to see next gen. But the game sucks. Like, the game's just boring. The campaign is very generic, very linear. Sort of like a Call of Duty campaign. You know, and I wasn't really a big fan of the kill zones to begin with. The controls were a little bit heavy-handed. Wasn't the biggest fan of it. I did like the atmosphere of the actual campaign at times. You know, they have very unique themes going on about revolution and who is the correct bad guy, etc. But it seems like they've done a worse job of the story this time around. Then there's a game called Knack, which is like a platformer. That actually kind of had my interest. I'm a big fan of platformers, personally, when they're done right. Then that got bad reviews as well. The director of PS4, I can't remember what his name is, but he even tweeted out that the PS4 hadn't been getting good reviews across the board. He was like, at least one of my games got a good review, because I can't remember what game it was, but I think it was like an arcade game was the only game that got reviews. And the stupid thing is, PS4 has been like pushing their console as, this is the console for gamers, this is the console where we actually care about the gamers. But ever since that Kinect stuff and always online stuff went out of the window with Xbox One, PS4 really had nothing on us. Like, I hate to start a console war and be like, choose a side, but at the same time, I don't see the point in buying a PS4 unless, like, that's the only console you can physically afford. I understand that for sure, but, you know, in terms of actual games that they're getting, their next game that they're excited for is Infamous. Now, Infamous will be good, but it will not be a system seller. It's a campaign game. You will probably get one day out of it. Our first game that we're getting is Titanfall, and I know that's going to be on PC as well. Once again, I'm just saying the console market is a different market to the PC market. There will be console players who will never want to change to PC, and I am one of those console players. I am a hardcore gamer. It's not like I don't understand the benefits of PC. It's not like I haven't looked into it. But for me, you know, the experience on console will be so much more exciting. The hype will be so much more intense, just because I've played with a lot of players since the early Xbox 360 era. A lot of these people are my friends, and it's going to be a lot more exciting to move, you know, as a group into that next gen. That's just my take on the matter. But, you know, for me, like, I don't know if Xbox One is worth buying now, but I especially know the PS4 is not worth buying, period. It just isn't. Like, I think Xbox One, you would get a lot of fun out of it. Whether it's worth a £400 or $500 price tag is definitely up for debate. And if I didn't have as much money as I did now, I probably wouldn't be buying it. But when Titanfall comes out, I think it will be a lot more viable. I think Titanfall will run 10 times better on Xbox One than it does on Xbox 360. That's just my personal opinion. Xbox 360 version is being ported by a different company. We don't know if they're reliable or not, so it could end up in a lot of features being scrapped, or a lot of graphics being scrapped, taken back. So, I don't know. Like, I personally, I'm looking forward to playing my Xbox One, but I understand why people wouldn't be. But I definitely wouldn't go for PS4, because I'm a fanboy slut. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I didn't expect to commentate this long, but anyway, I've been Modest Major. Hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay, the video. Peace out.